Lady Charmaine, and my guest today is a successful lawyer, motivational speaker, filmmaker, retreat facilitator, life coach, and author. And she's here today to talk about her new book entitled When I Was Broken. I want you to help me welcome Miss IMANI McCullough to the show. How you doing, IMANI?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Now, just reading your bio, that you are a very busy woman. You're a lawyer, motivational speaker, filmmaker, author, life coach, retreat facilitator. My first question, how do you do it all, ma'am?
I don't sleep a lot. I sleep on Wednesdays.
Okay.
No, I just have an interest in a lot of creative things, and so I make the time.
Wow. So, I mean, of course, speaking, filmmaking, because I know filmmaking alone, and if anybody knows anything about filmmaking, the editing process alone can take a long time when you're editing a project. So I just had to ask you that question. Now, you have a new book that's out entitled When I Was Broken, and I'm telling you, it's a page turner. We'll just have you reading because you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And you address some issues, IMANI, that we keep silent, especially in the African American community regarding mental illness and also going to counseling. Why did you feel it was so important to bring these issues to life?
So When I Was Broken is inspired by my own story of loving someone with a mental health condition. So, at its core, I think it's a love story that will resonate with anyone, but I wanted to bring to life the struggles that so many people, especially in the African American community, face that often don't have a voice. You don't hear about these stories. So I thought it was important to tell a story that reminds us how important it is to get the help we need, to do the work to keep ourselves healthy, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally.
Because I know in this story, like you said, it's your personal story. And a lot of times in the African American community, we don't like going to counseling. We'll go to church before we go to counseling. And you brought to life how you ended up going to counseling. Counseling did help you. Why did you feel it was important for you to go to counseling? And why is counseling important? There's nothing wrong with going to talk to somebody about an issue. We all need a sounding board. So why was that important for you?
Yeah, so in life, I've experienced a few times where I've been depressed. And fortunately, I was able to go in and talk to someone and through talking, able to get to a more positive place. For some people, though, it takes a little bit more. Sometimes there's a hormonal imbalance that we need to address through medication. And sometimes it's short-term, but I think that oftentimes we think it's a weakness to lean on someone for help. Or we think, as you kind of alluded to before, that we should just go to God with our problems, which we should do. But I don't think there's anything wrong with a little earthly help as well.
I say the same thing. There's nothing wrong with it, going to get the help. Because why do you think in our community, African American community, mental health illnesses and issues is so taboo that we don't talk about it, as if it's not happening in our community when it is? Because we'll just say, oh, that person is crazy, but they may have a mental illness. Why do you think it's such a taboo with us?
I think that part of it has to do with our leaning only on the church and not wanting to think outside of that, like I said before, with getting help through doctors. But I don't know. I think in our community, it's a badge of honor to be strong, and especially with African-American women, we take pride in being able to do it all. Even if we're crumbling on the inside, we don't want anybody to see it. And we want to just keep plowing through and not take that moment to say, hey, I need a little help. And I think that's the biggest mistake we make, or one of the biggest mistakes we make.
And that's so true, because you probably heard the story. It's so unfortunate that last season's MasterChef finalist, Joshua Marks, committed suicide because he was suffering from paranoid schizophrenia, from mental illness, which he had admitted to. And it's, he was only 26 years old when he ended his life last Saturday. And so I do believe it's coming for us in our community more and more, brought to the light for us. And although people think it's not happening, but it is. What advice would you give people who are dealing with relatives with mental illness? And can you help them recognize some of the signs? Because I know your situation, you were so close to it that you didn't see it. So what advice would you give people?
I think the first thing I would say is that we have to admit there's a problem. And oftentimes, we want to just, say, oh, they're a little different. Oh, they're a little moody. Oh, they're having a bad day. and it may be something more. And so admitting that there may be an issue that needs to be dealt with, I think, is the first step. The second thing I would say is, go get that help. Go talk to a counselor. If you don't have a counselor handy, talk to a medical doctor who can refer someone to see if there's something more there that needs to be explored, to see if there's counseling or medication or some other option that might help, because, oftentimes there is a better path, and sometimes we're stuck in what appears something abnormal can start to look normal to us when we're so close to it. Mm-hmm. So we have to step outside and say, hey, there is a problem, or there could be a problem, and then go and seek the help. And then the last thing I would say is take care of yourself. It's really difficult when you're trying to care for someone else, especially when that person is denying that there's an issue. Mm-hmm. And so it can be really easy to find yourself depressed or physically ill because you're pouring all your time and energy and emotion into wanting that other person to be healthy. And it's like I think Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are the ones who are quoted as talking about, you have to put on your own life vest first. And so sometimes I think we've got to take care of ourselves first so that we can take care of our loved ones.
I like when you were in counseling, and the character was in counseling, and the counselor Mary had said to her, basically, the answers. Is just her job to basically pull the answers out of you. Because, and I thought that was so powerful, because a lot of times we know, but we need somebody to help us bring that knowing out of us. And I do believe that's a lot of times that's what a counselor's job is. Sometimes we really do know, but we just got to dig deeper to find out what that knowing really is.
Yeah, sometimes it's a matter of saying out loud what you know to be true, mm-hmm. and having a witness to it. Right. So counseling, people who haven't been to counseling think of it sometimes as this really scary thing that you're going to go in and, be interrogated or be judged in some way. But the best counselors that I've known have been the ones who listened the most and really just gave me an opportunity to share what I was feeling and what I was going through. I recently went to counseling for a few sessions after my mother passed away because I could tell, my emotions were heavy. And even though I knew that grieving was a natural process, I wanted to make sure I was coping okay. And mm-hmm. just the act of sitting in the seat with someone and having them listen to what I was feeling helped more than I could have ever imagined.
And also, and one thing I learned about your book, which I've already known, but your book was so true, trust in your gut feelings. When you're having a gut feeling that something is not right. Because a lot of times we'll make excuses for stuff. But we mm-hmm. steady, make an excuse for this. Oh, it's this. Or maybe he might be taking me somewhere really nice. And you know what I mean? But you have this gut feeling that something was not right, and just really trusting your gut. And that's the one thing that I really loved about your book. Trust in your gut, because something, as you found out later on that day, really was not right.
Yeah, it's amazing. My real life story that the book is based on, and When I Was Broken is based on, I remember knowing in my core that something was wrong, but trying to deny it. Mm-hmm. And when everything, came to fruition, it was something to me just to look back and say I knew it, but I tried to deny it.
Because you love somebody, so much that no, that can't be it. But thank God, being a strong woman, and you were able to still stand, and you went and got the help that you needed as well. And so we're talking about the book, When I Was Broken. And so this is a story that's about Imani's life. It's based basically on a true story. If people wanted to purchase your book, where can they go to purchase the book?
My book is available through my website, which is Imani, IMANI.com. BuyImani.com, and that actually means by faith. It's also available through Amazon and Barnes & Noble's websites as well. And hopefully we'll be expanding to other locations soon.
Amen. And you're also working on a third book called Bittersweet?
I am. I'm excited about it, although it's got some more work to be done on it, but I'm really excited and hope that
Imani?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, it kind of went silent a little bit. And what else can we expect from you in the future?
I'm in the process now of finalizing plans for my second women's retreat. It's called the You Are Not Alone Women's Retreat, which is on November 8th through 10th. And I'm partnering with a career coach. I'm a life coach. And we're taking 20 women to Splendor Mountain to just talk about passion and purpose and peace, and hopefully leave with more energy than we came with.
Okay, and also you're also a filmmaker. Do we have any films that's going to be coming up that we can see?
We have, I work with a company called Wild Hunters Productions, and we just filmed our third short film, about 3 weeks ago. And so I hope that short will be seen in the spring in the film festivals. We hope for the Atlanta Film Festival and others.
Wonderful.
And we'll also be working on a feature next year as well.
Okay. So if people wanted to follow you, find out more about you, are you on any social media sites?
Yes. So in addition to my website, which is byimani.com, I also am on Facebook through ByImani and also on Twitter and sometimes on Instagram, but I'm not as good with Instagram.
So good. So everybody be able to find you, find out what you're doing. Just go to byimani.com to get more information. And again, the book is entitled When I Was Broken. So make sure you go and check the book out. It is a page turner. It's really good, and it's going to walk you through. So if you know anyone that's ever suffered with mental illness, or if you know someone, get this book and just know that you are not alone. Imani, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it, and I can come back.
Yes, you can. Thank you.